Alright, yo guys, what is going on? You got Techno here, your coach of the Carolina Pantherians, bringing you our Hive Season 3 Week 2 game versus Owen, coach of the Line Star Latias. Now, I'm just going to get the elephant in the room, kind of going to attack it first. Yes, I do have a new mic. There's a chance it might sound worse than the old mic, just the way that I guess it's built, the way it's supposed to sound. If you don't like it, I apologize. However, it's the only way I'm going to be able to get like any of my videos up in the right manner, which is annoying, but it's like, what can you do? Basically, if I don't have this mic, then I can't get up my videos and render them on my computer and shit, because my mic on my actual computer that I like use a lot doesn't really work very well. So yeah, gonna have to use this for now. Just, you know, what can you do? So just bear with me, guys. But anyways, so this week, as I stated, we are playing Owen, coach of the Lane Star Latias. Now he is currently 0-1, taking a week 1 loss to Hiker that honestly probably shouldn't have been taken, but you know, we're not here about that. Last season we did actually get a win versus him in the week 1 game, and it was a pretty haxy game. However, it's been a while since that happened, and I think that both of us have definitely improved, and we're definitely both looking for blood, because I want to get a win that I definitely like have more confidence in. So that's just kind of how I felt about this game. So looking at his team, you guys will see popping up on the screen right now, he has Scolipede, Victini, Tangrowth, Sylveon, Mandibuzz, Piloswine, Mega Sharpedo, Tyrantrum, Quagsire, Magneton, and Blissey. So looking at this team, I feel like this team definitely got knocked around quite a bit, just for some of the mons on it. But I don't feel like it's a bad team. He has some really nice offensive threats versus me. Scolipede and Victini are very much a monster to prep for. Whoops, sorry, just hit my mic there. Definitely both like really troublesome to prep for, just in team matchup, just in general. So I need to have a lot for that. Sharpedo can also run a dent through my team. A big problem with this team in this matchup is last week I played Lejano at a similar semi-stall style team as I guess Owen does, and so I didn't want to like try to bring my same sets from last week like very much. For example, Subcoil Zygarde definitely doesn't do as well this match as it did last match. A lot of different mons will beat it down. Tangrowth, Mandibuzz, Piloswine, even the Quagsire, all these mons just help beat it down really well, and like it's like not worth me bringing a sub DD Zygarde just for those mons. So ultimately, I've decided that I'm going to be bringing, I guess, a more offensive style team, while also maintaining my defensive components. So let's just get right into what my team is. So first mon that we're going to be having is going to be our Mega Pinsir with Swords Dance, Frustration, Quick Attack, and Close Combat with 40 HP, 155 attack, Adamant Nature, and then 216 in speed. And I don't know why my stats are all the way down there. That's kind of weird. Just like that for all of them. Oh yeah. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? Okay, anyways, yeah, those are my stats. So the reason I kind of ran these stats is because I gotta fix my graphics shit. Anyways, the reason I ran these stats is because I felt like, I'll get into that in a sec, but this set just basically kind of just runs through his team. Like, Adamant Mega Pinsir is just such a monster versus him. He has no real switch-ins to a return besides his Tyrantrum and his, Magneton, and so I will be able to, get them kind of like weakened down if I get a close combat off on them, make a good call, I guess. Only other real switch-ins are like Mandibuzz and I guess Piloswine, and so that's kind of why I'm running Frustration with Adamant. So it's obvious that you want to run Jolly so that you can outspeed the Victini. However, I know that Owen is known for his aggressive speed creeps, and so I felt as though he would try to aggressively speed creep me with my Zygarde, which he would run probably not 318 speed for, but end up actually running something around like, what's the fastest amount on my team? Something around like my Rotom speed, which with max speed, which would be, I don't know, something like not around that speed. And either way, I want to play it safe so you guys can see my speed stat is 300. The reason for that is just because that always outspeeds a modest Victini, and that's what I thought was the most threatening versus me if he did decide to bring it. So I was totally cool with that, and yeah, so that's going to be our Pinsir this week. So the rest of my team is just kind of built around this mon. So for example, next mon that we have here, right, is going to be our Heatran. So the reason I have this Heatran set is because I'm basically feeling a little bit weak to Victini, a lot of bit weak to Victini, as well as I wanted to have a Stall Breaker mon just to kind of just to kind of make sure that I could break through some mons, get up rocks, and also just keep like a lot of pressure on him with taunt mons. Get something that could just kind of, he doesn't really have any great switch into this thing, which is the nice part. Nothing really wants to come in on this, especially with my Magma Storm taunt combo. So you guys can see my stats right here. This speed is so that I outspeed a max speed Tyrantrum unless he's Scarfed, obviously. Then I have max HP, and then I kind of had to give it a mix of 20 special attack and 32 special defense. I felt like maybe he'd run a set where my ground EMZ doesn't OHKO, maybe I don't know, like something on his team, and I felt like I just want that to happen. I have ground EMZ just so that Victini just can't be a threat. He might stay in an HP ground or Z Focus Blast, which can kill me, but I don't think he'll bring the Z Focus Blast. I think he'd rather bring a Z Scolipede. Z Scolipede is probably the most threatening Scolipede. Looking at matchup, we'll get into that later. However, yeah, you guys can see he has just a lot of different mons that this Heatran does definitely pressure, so Z ground is very nice. Also lets me not get knocked off by the Mandibuzz, something really also very ideal for me. Another thing about this set is it doesn't get OHKO'd by regular Sharpedo. It has to Mega first in order to OHKO it, so that's really good for me. And yeah, speaking of Sharpedo, the next mon we have is going to be our Rotom. Now this is basically here just as a designated Sharpedo switch, and you guys can see my EVs right here. Basically just why I brought it. Just gonna see if it's actually, yep, it actually just changes. Wow. Okay. Anyways, yeah, you guys can see I have Hydro Pump, Volt Switch, Defog, Pain Split. Nothing really much to say here. Rindo Berry just in case the Victini gets out of hand. But yeah, this is nice for Defog, nice for Pain Split. And I guess that this set kind of helps you realize that my Fortress is actually not a rapid spinning set, which is interesting. I'll get into that in a sec. But yeah, this is definitely pretty clean versus his team. Just helps me deal with a lot of mons. Now, unfortunately, even though I am max Fizz Def, Sharpedo still will do a lot to me. So what I have to do is I kind of have to like put him in a position where he can't click Crunch twice. And that's the only way I'm going to be able to switch him. But this thing always takes a hit from full or even from like a decently healthy range. That's all I really need, just to not take like that much damage on this thing, and I should be good to go. So speaking of damage, I guess, next mon we have is going to be our Coon. Back again with the Choice Scarf set with High Jump Kick, Poison Jab, U-Turn, and Stone Edge. Now, not really much to say about this set, just a really nice pivot versus his team. Helps me get in my Pinsir very well versus a lot of different mons. That's kind of the idea, just drop in Pinsir, get a kill versus pretty much everything. Which it definitely can do, because like I said, after rocks, you guys can see, or not see, but I'll just tell you, Pinsir will OHKO or 2 KO a defensive Mandibuzz with Frustration, like with no, like I guess, investment or anything, or with no Sword Stance up, and with Sword Stance it should just be able to just bop it, drop it on its neck. Whoop, I actually showed you guys that. But yeah, I have Poison Jab, U-Turn, and Stone Edge as my last couple of moves. Stone Edge for the Scolipede, obviously. Poison Jab in case he wants to bring Sylveon, even though I don't think it's a great bring. I'll explain why in a sec, but yeah, I'll talk about that later. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, Banshao is just a really nice mon versus a lot of his team, and so that is pretty much the reason why I'm going to be bringing it. Just a really nice wall breaker and all that shit. So, next mon I brought is going to be another nice pivot versus his team. We have AV Fortress with this whack-ass EV spread that I will be explaining in a sec. So, we have Gyro Ball, Earthquake, Giga Drain, and Volt Switch with 248 HP, 108 attack, 36 defense, special attack of 20, and 96 special defense with a sassy nature. Now, this set definitely might seem pretty interesting to some people, but I definitely feel like it's a pretty good set versus the team, so let's get into why. So 248 HP and 96 special defense. Basically, it makes sure that I don't get 3 KO by a Spec Sylveon Hyper Voice, which is very ideal for me. Sylveon, if he does decide to bring it, even though I don't think he will, it could be a pretty big threat, but I think he'd bring Hidden Power Ground, because naturally, Hyper Voice does a lot more to Fortress than it does to Heatran anyway, so he'd bring Hidden Power Ground, and then I can just run my AV Fortress and just have that be pretty nice versus it. My attack investment, I believe it's so that there's something I was able to do a lot of damage to. I'm pretty sure it was the Tyrantrum with my attack investment. So yeah, that's pretty good. Special attack investment, basically versus the Quagsire. You guys can see that I'm not ill prepared for Quagsire. However, Quagsire will do, especially with my Zygarde set, but Quagsire can definitely do quite a bit versus my team. So I want to make sure that that doesn't happen. And yeah, this set kind of helps bait it. Giga Drain's always going to be a 2 KO even with rocks up, or even after leftovers, which is really nice. I bait up recovers, if anything, and it's all just really good for me. And then I have the defense stat just to help me with the Sharpedo a little bit more. So yeah, this is definitely an interesting set, but I think it does really well. Switches into a lot of mons. A lot of mons I feel like are more warranted to run hidden power ice or something rather than an HP fire, which is really nice. So I can just volt switch out on those, which is amazing. Volt switching really nice versus this team, helps me get in my pincer as stated. So yeah, really nice mon. And then the last mon we're going to be running is going to be our Zygarde with Sub-Toxic Camouflage and 1000 Arrows. So the set went through a lot of changes. First of all, you guys can see the speed stat is there, so I outspeed Tyrantrum. Like I said, Tyrantrum is still a pretty big threat versus my team. And I feel like I just kind of need to have something to make sure that I can switch into head smashes as well as I'm not gonna switch into dragon moves pretty obviously, but I feel like head smash is a lot more spammable versus me, so this helps me a lot with that. Sub and Toxic are both also really nice, along with the camouflage combo. So 52 attack, it was basically what I had left over after the HP and stuff, because my set, I made it so that after camouflage, he can't break me or break my sub with a Giga Drain from the Tangrowth. Even with a little bit of investment, he shouldn't be able to break my sub. Other mons like Piloswine also are likely to not be able to break my sub with the camouflage up. Oh, I just hit my mic again. Sorry about that. Still pretty new to this headset and shit. But yeah, so Mandibuzz also, this thing is alright for. I can try to sub up on it. Foul Play probably will be able to break my sub, however I don't really care. I still wanted this attack investment just for mons like Sylveon and shit, and even the Tyrantrum. So yeah, that's going to be our Zygarde for this week. And overall, I think that this team that I built was a very good team. I feel like this is definitely one of the more solid teams I've just ever built in general. Because if you look at last week, it's a lot of more standard shit. You got the AV Dusknoir, front AV on some pretty heat mons twice in a row. But you know, what can you do about that? But yeah, I think that this team is very solid. I think that if game plan is right, then we will be able to possibly snag a W, even if there's we'll just see in the replay. And yeah, so let's just see how the battle will end up turning out. Alright, so as you guys can see from team matchup, he decides to bring Scolipede, Tangrowth, Tyrantrum, Piloswine, Mega Sharpedo, and Mandibuzz. So one thing I really noticed is he has no Victini, which is amazing. And that's just obviously really good for me, because you guys can see if he brought Victini, it probably would have done a big dent to my team. But it doesn't come. I don't have to worry about that pincer 50-50, and I'm just free Adamant basically. Earlier I was kind of afraid of running Adamant, but I'm totally cool with it now. Then for the rest of my mons, it's looking as though that Mienshao can definitely do a lot to him, just based on the way that he's structured his team. And so I'm going to kind of build around that. So, or not build around that. 1 second. Sorry, I was just messaging something. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to make sure that I could try to win with Mienshao if I needed to, but at the same time also have a lot of different defensive options, because Scolipede is definitely looking like a pretty big threat versus my team. Zygarde's looking like a threat versus him. It's a bunch of threats versus each other. So let's just see. I lead right off with Mienshao because I can definitely just U-turn on anything. And yeah, that first turn I'm just gonna U-turn out on this Mandibuzz, and yeah, we're gonna go right into our Heatran. Knockoff does nothing because I don't have a knockable item, and so I just get on my rock. So on this turn right here, he knows that I'm Z-move, and basically I ran this calc, and he can't kill me with Waterfall. I'll show you guys the calc right now. Let me just show you. Okay, so he can't kill me with Waterfall. Here, damage. I looked up just damage, not damage calculator. I'll just run it again, just in case anyone's a skeptic, you know. Okay, so Sharpedo to my Heatran, which has 248 HP, because I know people were kind of skeptic. So this with no Megastone, he is unable to just kill me with any of his attacks. Even if he's Adamant, I don't die to anything. And so basically, what I was thinking there is, okay, so he either has to Mega and forfeit his, forfeit his speed boost, or he has to just try to protect, maybe, I don't know. Either way, I'm just gonna Z because I feel like it's pretty safe versus this thing. even a Mega Sharpedo has a shot to not knock me out depending on what his head is, but it's very unlikely. But anyways, he just goes right for Super Fang, and so I'm like, sweet, this is a free kill. I don't need my Z ground for anything else on his team, which is really nice. So yeah, I just kill off the Sharpedo, and in comes the Tyrantrum. Now I know that this thing's going for head smash, no other play here really, unless like maybe it's DD. But if it's DD, then I still have my Sturdy Fortress in the back, so I'm good versus that. And on this turn, so what I was feeling was, okay, so he's gonna go into his Piloswine, and then basically Piloswine could just get off. Piloswine or Tangrowth can be able to just get off a big hit on me anyway, so that's pretty threatening versus me. So I'm gonna do here is I know he's not gonna stay in, so I'm just gonna click Camouflage right off the bat and become a normal type, and that's just how it's gonna go. So on this turn, I'm like, okay, so I feel like he should, if he has Roar, and I feel like Roar is pretty good prep in case I'm sub Coil Zygarde. I feel like if he has it, then what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna be able to sub up, possibly Coil, and then I'll just get roared out. So I'm like, why not do that? Why do that? So that being said, I think he just won't risk the sub here, so I'm just going to go right for Toxic. I feel like I just need to get a Toxic off on this thing, and I get off the Toxic, and he just gets off his own Toxic. So, not a bad play on his part. However, I feel like I could have capitalized on that a little bit more if I subbed there. Would have definitely been a lot better for me, but alas, what can you really do? So here I'm like, okay, so I can't really stay in anymore, like safely. So I got to go right into my Rotom, and he's just going to get up his rocks. Pretty expected, I guess. And here I'm like, okay, so I still have my switch into the Tangrowth no matter what. It's time to just gauge some damage, I guess. And so here I'm just gonna go for Hydro Pump, and I ran this calc, and that has to be Assault Vest. Like, no other way around that. It has to be 100% Assault Vest. So good to know, because that just means I can Volt Switch out of there, and he's not gonna be some Sleep Powder bullshit or anything. So I'm just gonna go right into my Fortress, and you guys are gonna see I take literally nothing from that, which is amazing. So here I can just Volt Switch on out of there, expecting the Mana Buzz to come right in. So I can go into Heatran, and I can click Taunt here. I was kind of like thinking about him being Bone Rush, because I know a lot of people bring meme Bone Rush. I thought it would be pretty fitting versus me, because, you know, anyone who knows me probably knows what that would be fitting versus me. But yeah, I think Z, like, if he brought Bone Rush, that's the only way he'd be able to kill me here. A Foul Play from this range does not actually kill my Heatran, most likely. I'll show the calcs again, I guess, just because I'm trying to show these more in video, because I don't actually really show them that much. Yeah, Foul Play does, I don't have that much defense, but Foul Play does 21 to 24% max. Yeah, so what this basically means is I'll be able to get off a Magma Storm or force him to take rocks. Both of which are absolutely incredible for me, because it means I get off a Magma Storm on whatever else comes in, and if he goes Tyrantrum, that's big damage off for me. But unfortunately, he just crits me right here, and yeah, that's really huge. Honestly, I didn't even look at that much in the match, but that Foul Play crit is very big, because it basically means that now he just gets off more leftovers with his Mandibuzz, and I can't punish him with anything. I can't weaken the one mon I really need weaken for my Pinsir to do work. There's a lot of things I really can't do this game now, now that crit happened, which is, it's like detrimental, but I think that I still am in a pretty good position, no matter what. So here, I'm just like, okay, I'll just go right into my Rotom, as he's likely just going to go into Tangrowth or Piloswine, as Piloswine is what ends up coming out. And now I'm just going to be able to fire off a Hydro Pump and kill off the Piloswine, so that's pretty okay for me. And in comes the Tyrantrum. So on this turn, I'm identifying, okay, so I need damage off on this Tyrantrum. I can force it out with my Manchow, and then ultimately my Pinsir can basically just win the game from there. Any damage off on this Tyrantrum is just super good for me, which is absolutely incredible. So see, he goes for Head Smash. I'm like, okay, that hits, and I'm just gonna go for Hydro Pump. Gonna get off all this big damage, and after that, this should be a pretty easy win for me. It just means that my Pinsir can lock it up, even if he's like Kobo Scolipede. I still have my switch outs. I still have my Fortress at near max HP, not near max HP, but at a decent amount range to where Scolipede only threatens me if it's Z, and if it's Z, I still just kill it with my Pinsir no matter what. So I'm going to Hydro Pump right here, and I'm going to miss the attack. which really blows. Very very unfortunate that I did miss that Hydro Pump right there. But there's not really much I can do about that, you know, just the way the game works. Hydro Pump would have definitely put it pretty low. I'll actually just check this again. Sorry if these calcs are annoying anybody. I'm just trying to remember how much this did. Give like the best narration I could. So Hydro Pump to a no HP, this thing does 61 to 72% max. So that is definitely in range of a quick attack. Like no matter what after that thing, even if it's not, like even if he has the bulk investment he needs, he will be in range of a Mienshau's U-turn or a Stone Edge, which means that I'm not set up fodder for a Scolipede. So that's really unfortunate. Now he can switch out pretty safely, and I just have to go into my side guard because I just want to keep my Rotom around. No reason for me to just sack it off right there. 1,000 Arrows going to come out here. I'm like, okay. The reason I went for 1,000 Arrows there is because I expected the Mandibuzz to come in, and I thought that maybe Mandibuzz could just get two-shot by my 1,000 Arrows. So here he goes for Leaf Storm, and I'm like, okay. So there is no way in hell on this turn that he's going to let his thing get toxic, because this is an ample opportunity for him to get a defog off, and if he gets a defog off, then Scolipede is pretty much good to go versus my team. So here I'm like, okay, I got 1,000 Arrows again, and this is where I realized that Zygarde is fucking shit, and Heatran is also shit for getting crit by a Magma Storm, or by a Foul Play, because if I didn't get crit and I got that damage off, that would have been fucking huge, really big for my team. But you can't really do anything about that. So here, I'm just gonna I'll show you. Like, it just does nothing. It's so pitiful. I'm just gonna Toxic here, because I thought that maybe he'd try to go right back out into the thing. This thing also I can Toxic because it's also just nicer for my Pinsir. No reason just letting it roost up and then take more Toxic damage. So I'd rather just Toxic it here and then start pressuring it. Here I was tempted to go for Toxic again, but instead I'm just going to go right out into my Rotom. Foul Play can't kill me, Knockoff can't kill me, and I should be able to outspeed this thing. So now I'm just going to go for Volt Switch, and yeah, I can just sack off my Zygarde, as if he went for Roost here, he'd just take more Toxic damage, I'd get my leftovers back, be all good. And now I can just go into my Rotom. No reason for me to go into my Pinsir here, because that just baits in the Tyrantrum, and then I have no switch-ins, besides maybe this Mienshao, but that's really it. So here, I go Mienshao. After the Volt Switch kills the Manbuzz, I go for U-turn. In comes the Fortress, and he gets a crit on me with the Ancient Power. So I'll talk about that in a sec, but that crit is actually pretty big. I'll show you guys in a sec, actually. Sorry if my calcs also aren't popping up. But yeah, you guys can see, so I have the Ancient, he goes for Ancient Power, that crit definitely happens, I guess, and now I'm at 47%. So here's the big issue here. So let me just show you guys. Okay, let me just show you guys. So Fortress, my set, which is this, versus a Scolipede. So I was in pretty comfortable range to take a hit from a +2 Scolipede, even Adamant. However, you guys can see an Adamant Earthquake +2 Scolipede does 41 to 48.4%. So it forces a Z move, and if he's Z move, then I'm good to go versus that. So what you guys see here is I'm actually now like possibly in range of of the attack to where I can't risk it at all, because if I do risk it, I can just lose it. You'll see. So I Volt Switched here. Alright, so I accidentally put my mic set out. I accidentally clicked the power button, but yeah, we're back. So yeah, I get off the frustration, I just kill off this thing, and now I'm in a pretty sticky situation, so I just have to sack this thing off. And now, what I'm thinking is, okay, so the Rotom, it's least useful, and now Mienshao could come in, and I have to HJK because of the range it's at. If it wasn't in this range, I would definitely probably just go for a U-turn, kill this thing, go into my, go into my Fortress, I Gyro Ball, and then if he's Z, he's like whatever versus me. If I Gyro Ball, I get off the damage I need more than likely to get him in range of a quick attack, and then if he gets the +1 speed, then I get off that range no matter what. Or I could just Stone Edge and just ignore all that. But either way, now I have to bank on HJK, and you guys are going to see ESDs once, and I can't go hard Fortress because of the roll, the fact that now he can actually kill me with that. I go for HJK again, and yeah, so now I just have to pray that he's not Koba. And that's all I can go for right here. So let's just see right here. We're gonna see as I go for quick attack. He is Koba Berry, and I'm like, okay, dodge Rock Slide, and no, I don't. So here's some things I want to say about this game. So this was definitely a pretty interesting battle. I thought it was a fun game, pretty nice game versus Owen. Definitely revenge for his week 1 game and his game versus me in the previous season, where I did hacks him quite a bit. However, I feel like this is a similar scenario to last season, and that's what makes me, I guess, a little bit annoyed about it. I feel like his team was pretty good, but I feel like just like overall, the build of my team, the way that it just kind of functioned, I felt like my team had like a slight edge, and that's why it ended up almost winning. Like I have this feeling that if any of those three hacksy moments didn't happen in the battle, that I definitely would have had a more likely chance to win. It's hard to like say, but I feel like that's probably how it would have gone, because I could have kept rocks up, I could have lived a hit from Scolipede, and I could have gotten the damage I needed on Tyrantrum, but unfortunately none of those decided to happen, and that's just how you take your L's. And it's unfortunate because I wanted to beat Owen. I definitely respect him as a battler, team builder, content creator on YouTube, and so I wanted to beat him. I wanted to prove that I'm good enough to beat him. That's basically what I wanted to prove. Because last season I didn't really prove that. I just kind of I just kind of lucked my way through it. But this season I felt like my prep is a lot better. I've improved so much as a player in quite like a short amount of time. I feel just I've spent more time on my prep and stuff. But it's just how it goes, you know. And the unfortunate part is now I feel like there are some matchups coming up later that this win would have been a lot nicer for, because it means that I don't have to be as pressured to win those games. However, similar situation happened last season with the K-Crick game. Can't really get too upset, and just gotta keep pushing. So next week we play Zappy, and I'll definitely have my upload for that then, but until next time, adios.